John Laurinaitis calls me, which I'd not been cleared yet to return back to in-ring action. I just had the third surgery, and I was attempting to come back from the third surgery, from the 2 botched surgeries from that first doctor, mainly the first one. And he tells me, yeah, blah, 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 gives me a bunch of bullshit. And to this day, I don't hold John Laurinaitis personally, I don't hold him accountable for this. He was doing what he was told in that position. And that came from either Hunter or Vince, most likely both of them. And actually, to backtrack a second, this probably came from Hunter solely. Hunter, who was starting to gain more control over developmental this period, was coming into FCW a little bit to kind of that's when I think the wheels were kind of turning to, as far as him getting more and more involved in developmental. He comes up to me. He goes, "Oh, how you doing?" And I go, "I'm feeling good. I finally got the metal taken out of my leg." And he goes, "Eventually we got to pull the plug on you." His exact fucking words. Hunter, Triple H, fucking, "Eventually we have to pull the plug on you," was his exact words. So remind you, and by the way, and I've talked to other people that know me, like growing up, he was one of the few guys that I actually really liked. And like I don't want to say looked up to, but like I liked his character.
Sure, of course.
And like I liked the whole deal. And like, so then this guy who's now the boss looks at me, "Oh, eventually we have to pull the plug on you." Now, in any other situation of a guy not performing and not, you know what I mean? That like, this was like, come on. Like, and I knew everything. I was driving 3 hours to live events to go do rehab, fucking busting my ass, trying to figure out, calling the office, telling them things aren't right, but falling on deaf ears for a fucking year. So like, I'd never felt more let down in my life than that moment right there when he said those words. "Well, eventually we got to pull the plug on you." And he said it with a high-pitched voice and fucking like, "Eventually we got to pull the plug on you." And I just sat and stared at him in complete confusion and like, just what the fuck?
Do you think he's a bearer of bad news, or he just
I don't
took it
know.
upon himself like,
if not to say that to another human being, that and like in to give him, in all fairness, he probably knew nothing of what I had been through and what I was doing to try to correct the mistakes of that fucking company time and time again. So, but in my mind, I knew, and it fucking not only hurt me, but it lit a fucking fire under me that I am now playing with the fucking devil with all of this, and that woke me up. That's when everything, whatever mark was in me at that point, fucking left. That fucking moment in time, it was like, fuck this. I'm now dealing with this fucking piece of shit across the board with this entire company. That's what it fucking changed my whole outlook on the wrestling business forever.